tell me.
I just want to tell you, you talking about evil spirits. Why is it that when they latch on to you like that and you can't get away from them and nobody can hear you?
Well, I don't know. You tell me.
No, I can't tell you. I don't know, because I know one latched on to me, and well, actually, I thought I was dying because I didn't think I would be able to get away from it.
How did you get away from it?
I don't know.
Anytime that happens, what you're to do is to say, Jesus Christ, help me. That's all you need to do, and that thing will leave.
Thank you for telling me that.
Because reason why I'm telling you that is because it worked for me. Because a demon tried to attack me, and I stayed calm. Always keep calm. Never panic. And just say, Jesus Christ, help me. And that's it. That thing is gone. It can't stand the name of Jesus Christ. Cannot.
Well, it's good to know.
That's a fact. That's just the way it works, So anyway.
I know. Well, I will tell you about this. I was a teenager at the time, honest to God. I was at my aunt's house, and I was with her daughter. She had 2 daughters. It was her 2 daughters, myself. And I don't know, we was coming from this other lady's house, and we heard these bells ringing. Oh, just bells. They were making beautiful sounds and everything, but we didn't see any bells. But coming up on the sidewalk, there was this huge cow with these big red eyes, and around his neck he had bells. But now it wasn't real, but that's what we saw. And I never understood that, and I was trying to explain it to my mother. And like my mother said, she said, you got such imagination. One of these days, these things are going to chase you and you'll forget about it. But it was a huge tan cow with big red eyes, and he had all these bells hanging around his neck. I don't know why I'm thinking about this and see this, but that's what happened with that. But it was a spirit.
How old were you?
About 15, 16.
And everyone saw this?
They said they did. I don't know if they did. All I know is they took off running, so I guess they did.
I would say they did.
But me, I don't know what it is with me, but I can't run from things like that.
That's a good thing.
Why is it good?
It shows strength.
Yeah.
Now, what else? Tell me another ghost story.
I went out of the garage walking, and I went outside, though. You know where the parked the car on the other side, not this other side.
Yes.
Why do they have... I saw... I know I wasn't dreaming it. I saw this, but I was afraid when I saw it. That that little hilly corner right there by the garage when you come up that ramp to go into the garage?
Yes.
There was a strange-looking doll sitting there. I mean, small, but sitting there. I meant to ask you about it before, and I forgot. Why would somebody put... It looked like a skeleton doll, but it had... was a black flower on it, pushed on it or something like that. And right today, I'm afraid to go out that side of the garage, to go down past that hill right there, just as you turn into the driveway.
Either the person that died was probably involved with demon worship, or the person who put it there was involved with demon worship.
Oh, so that's what you think it was?
Could be. Because that's a pretty dark situation right there.
It sure is, and I don't like that. I don't go there past there anymore. Anyway, I saw this. Where did I see this? I saw it in my sleep. See if you can explain to me about these dolls that these people have, and they got a peculiar set of pens and everything. And I think the dolls are created. And that they got certain parts of the body that they stick these pens in.
Yes,
What's the reason?
It's called voodoo. It's
what?
It's called voodoo. The correct pronunciation of voodoo is voodoo, and that's what that is. Whoever does that is practicing voodoo, and it's
That's dangerous, though, isn't it?
Yes, it is very dangerous, because what you're doing is you're asking Satan and his demons to help you inflict pain or death on a certain subject, a certain person.
That's what that is.
Yes. It's called voodoo.
Why do you know so much about this?
Knowledge is power.
Yeah, true, but it's also scary, too.
Of course it's scary, but I'm not scared of the truth.
It is.
I'm not scared. I'm not frightened of the truth. Knowledge is power. And the thing is, if you are a recipient of such a thing and you know it's happening to you and you believe in it, then it will actually happen.
Oh, God, why are you telling me that?
Well, why would you believe in it? You block it off. No, why? Do you think someone is doing that to you?
Oh, no, they can't. That's my belief, too, and that's the thing that my grandmother taught me, too, like that, about things like that. I know about that.
Right. So the thing
is, I know somebody tried once upon a time, and then I found it out.
Because what happens is, if someone tries it on you, whatever happens that they do, any bad karma that they try to put on you will come back to them threefold. And they know that. They know that when they do it, they don't care. Because they just want to inflict that one pain. They don't care what comes back to them. It'll come back to them threefold, always in threes. You see, always in threes.
Yeah, so the other night, I dreamed that the other spirit I had like that. I was, my aunt that passed away didn't have any children. And she was always after my mother, so I mean, spend the nights with her because her husband passed away. I told you about that evil husband.
That's right. Yes, I recall.
Yeah, but and I used to spend the night with her a lot because she didn't stay too far from my mother, maybe two houses down or something. But this one particular night, and we slept together. I was in the bed with her because she was such a sweet person. And believe it or not, I wish I had her picture, because if you saw her picture, I don't know, my mother must have marked me by her because we look just alike. Yeah, anyway, was sleeping in the bed like that. And the bed, the center of the bed, it just started like it was beginning to swell up, like it was just coming up off the, yeah, I'm trying to remember how that went. The center of the bed was coming up, and all of a sudden, the bed starts spinning, going round and round and round and everything like that, and my aunt was screaming and hollering and everything like that. So, and that was in her bedroom, like I said, so it was house 3 bedrooms. Yeah, the house 3 bedrooms. And honest to God, I'm telling you the truth, we were in nightgowns and everything with no shoes on, and we flew out of that house and went across the street to my mother to get away from that, and it appeared that looked like the bed was following us. I don't know whether it was the bed or the person that was doing that to the bed. So when we got to my mother's house and got inside the house like that, my mother let us in like that. But then a knock came on the door to my mother's house door and said, next time. And my mother said the two of us looked like we had seen a ghost, which I think my mother was well aware of what it was.
Wait a minute, hold on, back up so that our audience isn't confused here. Okay, you went over to your mother's, right? Then she heard a knock on. Then you heard a knock on her door, of her house, and who was there?
There was no one there. She looked. The door is half glass and half wood, so she looked out there. There was no one there, but they knocked on the door.
And what is this about next time?
I guess when I spend the night with my aunt again like that, and he come back there, I guess the next time they'll get her.
And then what was it? You heard a voice saying next time? And did all of you hear it?
Yes.
Was it a human voice? What kind of voice was it?
It was a human voice, and I think it was the spirit that chased us from the house, out of the bed.
I see.
Now, that's how I see it. Now, I don't know how anybody else interpreted it or see it, but that's how I did.
And you swear that this truly happened, correct?
Yeah, it happened. I mean, I was no shoes and nothing on, nightgown and flying like a fool running to get from over there, just from my aunt's house.
Wow. And
I'm not telling you anything that didn't happen to me.
No, I know that. I'm sure that you did. Now, you're saying you and the aunt flew out of there, correct?
That's right.
I'll be doggone. And how long ago? How old were you then?
I was about 16.
Wow.
This has been going on with me for many, many years.
Yeah, you know what, you're what I regard as a receptor. Women are much more receptive than men. Men are senders, but you're a receptor, and you're obviously a pathogen for spirits. They're attracted to you for whatever reason, and because they are, they come to you, good and bad. You see, so
Yeah, you're right.
hmm
Because
But that was a demon,
The-
obviously.
the day before 9/11, I was here in the kitchen. It was at night, and I heard the latch on my back door pop. Just came up off the lock,
Uh-huh.
the outside, and I looked out the window because the door is half and half. It's glass too. There was an airplane. Now, hear me out right now.
Okay.
And I could see all of the people sitting on that plane. I could see them sitting by the windows and everything like that. And I could hear the noise of the plane, but there actually was no plane out there.
I see what you're
You
saying.
understand?
Yes,
You
I-
understand what? Okay. So, and I checked my back door to see if the latch was up. And sure enough, the latch had popped up off the hook.
Right.
Just from the vibrations from that noise but along that line where people sit along in those window seats, all I could see was faces.
Mm-hmm. Yep. You see, you have what's called prophetic visions, and that popping of the lock was to get your attention, to so that you could see that. A lot of people had a lot of prophetic thoughts about 9/11. You're not the only one. A lot of people did. It was a major event that was brought to a lot of people's attention that were able to be receptors of prophetic thoughts. So you were one of them. You know, it's either blessing or a curse, either one.
Which one you think it is?
Well, for you, I don't think it's so much a curse. I think it's just a matter of circumstances. You're just a receptor, and that's the way you were born. I have a question. Were you born with a veil on your face as a baby?
I don't know. I don't remember my mother saying so.
Because usually
I really don't.
they used to say years ago, if you were born with a veil on your face,
I've heard of that.
that you would see things and hear things and whatever that other people couldn't hear.
Well, I definitely had company last night in my house because I saw them. It's amazing how they come from my foyer going toward the living room, and the shadows be on the wall, and there's no light going on in that living room because most of the time I am in the kitchen. Yeah, I didn't sleep too good. I didn't go to bed till about 7 o'clock this morning.
Wow. Yeah, you got to get sleep. Don't let these spirits do that to you. You see, because really, just accept your ability to see them. Let it go at that, because none of them have never harmed you.
No.
So seek comfort in that. You're obviously protected too. So don't worry.
But now, one evening I was sitting here in the kitchen. I had both back doors. You know, I got those Dutch doors that you can open the top or the bottom. I had them both open.
Mm-hmm.
And like a fall, there was like a line of people, all attached to one another, going past my door. And it looked like a mist that's coming up from off the water or something.
Mm-hmm.
But they were all attached to one another, going past my door.
And how were they dressed?
I don't know, because all I could see was like the mist. They was all attached to one another. I can't tell you.
What did they did they? You could tell that they were human.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So and that I closed the door. Sometimes I sit up there and I see things and I just close the door if I get afraid. Really, to tell you the truth. But they were out there,
Mm-hmm.
and I told you. I think I told you once before. My brother said he saw something similar like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you did tell me
that.
One of our episodes. You said that. That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I told him, I said, you didn't see nothing out there. And he said he felt chills just came all over him like that, and he felt like his hair was standing up on his head, which he shaves his head's clean in my hand. But no, you want me to go in. Now, see, tonight I won't get any sleep again.
Yes, you will. You'll be fine.
No, I won't.
You'll be
no,
fine.
I won't.
Well,
but I have a very good memory. I don't forget.
I know you don't. So,
No.
what else can you remember?
So, I know my brother be around here a lot.
Yeah, a lot?
Yeah.
What about
you know how I know?
By the smell of his cigar.
Yeah, and his pipe, or the two
Pipe, rather.
Plus he sits in there on the stereo in the living room anyway. And when I go in there, that's the first thing I see his face.
Now, tell me
and
something.
you was getting ready to ask me about Eric?
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't see him, but I feel his presence, and I feel it most of when I'm in the car.
Is that right? That's interesting.
Yeah, I do. Because when I get in that car and I'm going someplace like that, I always start talking to him. And I feel like he's sitting right there with me. And if I have a strange feeling that something is not right to go one way and I change like that, I guess maybe he helped me with that. I'll go the other way. And sure enough, I have avoided accidents by going and changing my mind and going another way.
There you go. Always follow your instincts.
I do.
That's good.
But I can say this with all honesty, and God is my witness. Every time I get in that car, I feel like he's right there next to me.
I believe you. Like I said, you're a receptor. You receive. You get these things because you were born that way. And a lot of people they think, oh, that's nonsense. No, it's not nonsense. You see them, you hear them, you feel them.
I do.
I know
and
you do.
I really wish I didn't feel the presence so much.
Well, that's why I say sometimes it's a curse and sometimes it can be a blessing, either or.
Sometimes it really gets next to me after a while. I get in the bed and cover up my head and trying to get it away from it, but it just doesn't work. Maybe I'm by myself too much. Maybe the devil is after me too.
No. Well, one thing I will say, not so much Satan. Satan's too busy doing other things, but his minions know you. And they play on your weaknesses and they play on your fears. The main thing is not to fear. The main thing is to not give them food for thought. You know what I mean?
Oh, I don't think I told you about the lady that used to live over my head.
You told me something about it, that you hear footsteps.
About that wheelchair.
Yeah, wheelchair. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I told you about the wheelchair.
Yeah, you hear it after she died. You still heard the wheelchair going around.
Yeah, I think I heard it in the hallway too. And I tell you, because she used to go on all the floors with that wheelchair. She would make little projects and things during the holidays, and she would paste them on the door or somewhere around her that she liked to do little arts and crafts.
Mm-hmm.
And she used to go on all the floors with that like that. But sometimes I can hear her wheelchair. And the lady that's living up there now, she saw me downstairs one day and she asked me, did I know anybody that lived upstairs that had a wheelchair? And I said, yeah, my neighbor lived up there. She's up there over 20 years. So she said she sometimes hear the wheelchair moving around in her apartment.
Mm-hmm.
I says, well, she lived up there. She had two sons. Well, they were supposed to be sons, but her son passed away about 3-4 years ago, and I think sometime Tracy be down here too.
Really?
Yeah, because Tracy was one of those people that I knew a long time ago. The one I think I told you I had to give him, or how do I refer to him, his injection, because he couldn't afford it at the time, and he was getting those hormone shots to help build up his chest areas and to keep half of them going on his face. He had this sex change operation.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, and I think he'd be down here sometime too, because he lived upstairs with his mother.
I see. Yeah, I remember you told me. That's right.
Yeah, but I didn't tell you about. He had a particular cologne that he used to wear all the time like that, and sometimes I smell that when I go in the living room. That's why I stay out of the living room.
Yeah, you know what it is? Let me tell you
What?
something. It all depends on what you believe. It could either be familiar demons, familiar spirits that play on what they know about you, what you know, or it could be real spirits that are gravitating towards you because they know that you can sense them. There's a number of possibilities with this. It all depends on what you believe. It all depends on your faith. If you believe in God, Jehovah God, then you know that the dead know nothing, and that all this other stuff is nothing but trickery of Satan and his minions. For those that may not believe that, may subscribe to the thought that these spirits are real. That they don't know they're dead, or they don't accept that they're dead. They don't want to go to the light, or they want to be around places and people that they're familiar with and that they were familiar with in life. So there's a number of options, and it all depends on what you believe. You know, it varies.
I remember something about the light. I was asleep, and I actually think, but I don't think I believed it. I know it happened to me. This light you're talking about, I don't know. Something was going on with me. I was in the bed, and I this one here tells me I woke up screaming and crying and saying no, no, no. But I remember the light, and I was like being pushed back. And what does that mean?
Being pushed back from the light. Meaning that your respiration might have slowed down to the point physically that you might have been might have been preparing for a out of body experience that could have led to your possible death. Meaning, and could have when you go towards the light, it's usually going to the divine God. But that being pushed back could possibly mean that God or whoever was not ready for you yet. And that's how I interpret that. But I'm
the same way I did too.
Yeah, I'm no authority on this, so I don't know. But that's the way. Based on what you're telling me, that's exactly how I would think.
Well, that's what happened.
I believe that.
No, it did happen to me. Like I said, sometimes I get very frightened when I'm here by myself and sitting here like
I understand that.
Things start happening with me, and I don't know if I'm sitting up here going to sleep or what. If I try to lay down, it seems like to me I'm just surrounded with too many different things.
Well, like I said. Now, please hear me and understand it. Don't just listen and let it go in one ear and out the other. I'm telling you that you are a magnet, as a lot of people are. A magnet. Look, if I were to die, don't you think, or you were to die, don't you think that you and I would be gravitating to people that we are familiar with? And that's the first instinct. It's the normal instinct in life. When the things you do in life, you do in death. A lot of people don't realize that. Your personality does not change. You are true to death as you were in life. Nothing changes, and your natural instincts would be to gravitate towards things that you're familiar with. And obviously these spirits are familiar with you, and they are glad to be near you because you can sense them, and it gives them a sense of validity of their existence, being that they're dead. You see, and some of them don't even know they're dead. So there's a combination of a lot of things going on.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yes, going back to when that lady told me we knew each other in another time. I think she was right, and I'm gonna tell you why I think she was right.
Go ahead.
I saw myself in these fancy dresses with the umbrella and the fancy hat in a rowboat going down the lake, sitting in there with somebody in there like that. Now this I saw. And I don't know if I was dreaming to sleep or whatever, anything, but just this, like I'm talking to you.
Right.
And we was in the boat, and I had on this fancy dress and a hat, and we were rowing down the lake. And that was in a period time. I'm trying to think what period would you put that in?
Well, it probably would. It could have been or a late 1800s.
Something like that.
It could have been a Victorian period during the time of Queen Victoria. It could be a number of things.
Yeah, the dresses were beautiful. The hat was beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And I was my little skinny self,
Mm-hmm.
but it was me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's very possible that you could have been reincarnated, and spirit. I believe that the possibility exists if you think out of the box that two spirits could easily have been brought to the same time period or a different dimension of time at the same time. This is not, to me, unusual.
No, I believe that.
Yeah, I think it's possible. And it's possible that the woman did recognize your soul, not so much your look, but your soul. Souls can recognize other souls. Take my word on this.
Oh, I believe that.
Yeah, it's not just the physical. A lot of people think, oh, well, I don't recognize them. No, you don't have to recognize them by vision. But the soul attracts. The soul recognizes the soul, you see. And I think that's possible. And that may be the case with you and that woman.
I think so.
Mm-hmm.
There was another incident, and my grandmother was trying to explain this one to me. I was going someplace. I used to babysit after school when I was a teenager, like that, babysit. And I was going to my little babysitting job, and I was on the sidewalk. The lady that I was babysitting for, they didn't live too far from my mother, because I lived in my mother's house in a mixed neighborhood,
Mm-hmm.
Caucasians and blacks and everything like that, and I was taking care of that baby. But I heard this noise as I walked to her house, and I heard this noise, and I looked down, and there was this, and I think this was evil, though. I looked down, and there's this snake coiled up like a rope.
Mm-hmm.
And the noise that it was making was his tail was sitting straight up, and it was making noise.
It was rattling? It was a rattlesnake?
Yeah. Okay. And I was just like if I hold my hand up in front of my face right now, that's how close I was to that thing. Yeah, but I said that to say this. It didn't move. I couldn't move. And I just focused my eyes on that thing's face. But my grandmother told me that what happened, I hypnotized that snake by looking directly in that snake's eyes. That's why the snake couldn't move, couldn't strike.
Interesting.
Yeah, it is. But it happened.
I believe
because the snake could not move. And that's why I think I told you once before, I don't watch nothing with reptiles on the TV. I'm scared to death of them. But it didn't move. But my grandmother said, and that was a bit unusual, because when their tail is sitting up and the rattles on it, that's when they're getting ready to strike.
That's right.
And she said, and they can strike the length that they are. But he was right up on me. I was right up on him.
Wow.
And the reason why I looked down and saw him is because he was making that noise.
Well, tell me something. How did you get away from it?
It didn't move, and I couldn't move, and all of a sudden it just disappeared. Now explain that to me.
Did it dematerialize like a ghost, or did it just go
No,
away?
it just disappeared. I told the family where I was going to take care of the little boy, the babysitter. I told them that it was a snake sitting on the sidewalk far from their house, and I explained it to them and told them like that. And they had all kinds of people searching, trying to find that snake, because the kids would be playing outside.
Right.
But they couldn't find the snake.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I did. My grandmother talked to me about it, but my grandmother told me I had wisdom or power about me that the snake couldn't attack me.
Yeah, it's possible. It's possible. Or you might have been protected by divine intervention. It could be a number of things. There's so many endless possibilities. It's hard to tell. Hard to tell.
Yeah,
You know?
it sure is a cycle because I see so many things in this house. I don't know where I'm going crazy. I'm not something like
No, you're
I
not
tell
going.
myself, I tell myself, I say, you know what? Are you going crazy? That's what's wrong with you.
You're not going crazy. You really
Yes,
see
I
what you.
am.
No, you're not. You see what you see because, like I said, you're a receiver. Why can't you accept that? What's the problem with this?
I didn't say I didn't accept it because I see things too much.
Right.
You
So,
know, sometimes when I come back from being out, and I come back and I come in the house, I get this warm, unusual warm feeling over me like that, and I feel as if though somebody came in the door with me.
well, that's interesting because actually the feeling should be cold.
No,
That's a,
I wasn't cold.
do
What?
they? Does it feel like a good spirit or a bad spirit?
No, it didn't feel bad.
Okay.
It just frightened me a little bit because I know that I was by myself.
Uh huh.
I think nobody was supposed to be coming in the door with me. I've heard knocks at my door, and I've asked who it was and everything like that, and nobody say anything. And I look through the thing, and I don't see anybody.
Yeah, ghosts do that. Spirits do that. You know,
And
demons
they
do
rang my
that.
buzzer downstairs, and I listen at the door to see if anybody is coming up the stairs. Nobody comes up there, but it's like I was sitting here last night. I think it was Emma.
Oh wow, you do.
Yeah, you remember I told you about Emma?
Sure, you saw it coming down the steps as you was going up.
Yeah, because, you know, she was always wanting to get in my house for some reason or another, but I never invited her in here. Because I personally didn't like the lady.
Okay.
I didn't.
Well, I think she knows that now.
Because I guess she does. She's probably listening to me.
No, she probably knew it a long time ago. Go ahead.
Oh, one time she went someplace and she came back with some vegetables.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that now. And this is not no dream in the spirit. This is when she was alive.
Right.
And she knocked on my door and she asked me if I want some of the vegetables. And I told her no, I wasn't too good with fresh vegetables, which was a lie. So she says, I don't know how to prepare them. Do you know how to prepare the vegetables? I said, no, I have no idea. I remember it like it was yesterday. Now, why was she trying to bring me some fresh vegetables?
I don't know. What do you think?
And I think she had motive behind that. I really do. So she could get in my house or whatever she wanted to do.
What do you think she was after you personally, physically?
Yeah.
Oh, she was lesbian, was she not?
Well, she had a husband down there that she tried to kill 2 or 3 times. But
Oh, Jesus.
I said, yes, she did. I saw the police come down there and take her away one time. Oh, man, she had been stuck a knife in that man so many times. He was dripping blood when they was bringing him out. I don't know if he died or not. But no, she wasn't a nice lady.
Yeah, see, it looks like to me, I'm picking up a couple of things. She could have been lesbian and after you, which would not surprise me. And also she could have been, maybe she was a practitioner of voodoo, and maybe she put something in the
Might have
fruit.
been.
Yeah, you never
She
know.
was Spanish.
Yeah, no, let me tell you, a lot of them practice Santeria. They forget.
I know that.
Yeah, so
I know that, but she be around here a lot. But I never let her, because she asked another Spanish lady that the one I told you that used to come up here all the time when I was cooking.
Mm-hmm.
She asked that lady one day. The lady told me, she said, "Why Marie don't ever invite me to her house?" So I said, "What did you tell her?" She said, "I told her that you weren't friends to her. You weren't friends to each other. Why should she invite you to the house?" I said, "Now that's strange. Why she want to get in my house?"
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the reason. I didn't trust her.
Yeah, no, you followed your instincts right, because there are certain people that want to get close to you. There are certain people that have tried to get close to me, and I don't let them get close at all. When I see someone trying hard, I get rid of them right away.
Yeah,
Because
there's a reason
I don't
behind that
trust.
they want.
Of course,
Yeah.
there's always a
I don't
motive.
trust. Yeah, people are very dangerous.
They can be.
Yeah, I know.
These are the end times. I think we have not seen anything yet. This is only the tip of the iceberg.
I feel the same way.
Listen, you're going to see and hear about things that you would only think is mystical and unbelievable. You're gonna witness miracles. You're gonna witness deception. You're gonna witness everything. It's good. So I would just say to you, sit back and enjoy the freak show because it's just beginning. I'm telling you. Now, this is something I know. Now, I don't know if you heard the talk among the social media people is that September 23rd is going to be a major eventful day. Now, I don't know if I believe it or not. I don't know what it is.
What kind of day are they talking about?
I don't know, but it's going to be catastrophic for America, according to what I'm hearing. Because of the alliance.
September 23rd? Oh, I did hear something about that, but what are they talking about?
I'm not sure. They don't want to cause panic. But it may be a collision course with asteroids that may hit the United States. There's a number of things they're trying to warn us subconsciously. But we are on the path of a collision, from what I understand. I don't know how true that is. I don't know if it's going to happen. But September 23rd is the projected time for a major catastrophe. I don't know what that catastrophe is, Maria. I have no idea. But that's what they're saying. And I mean,
I did hear something about it.
What did you hear about it?
Something on the news or something. They was talking about something.
On September 23rd?
Yeah.
Yes.
And I have a calendar in my wallet that I stay with me. And I don't know why on that calendar there's a circle around the 23rd, and I'm trying to figure out what does that mean? Why is the circle around the 23rd on that calendar? I don't have nothing special to do. I just thought about that when you mentioned it.
Yeah, they're saying something
major. If you was here, I would show you the calendar, and you would see that there's a green circle around it.
Right.
Huh.
I don't know.
I have a book here with all of the different angels in there and everything, because I also know that the voices come to me and tell me there are angels all around you. You don't see them. They don't come in human forms or whatever, but they can come in any form that they like.
That's right. That's a fact.
Yeah. And I believe that they be with you all the time in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
I do. I don't know if you feel like that, but I do.
No, well, you know what it is? I can't feel anything. I can't feel anything beyond my nose. But women can. I can send things, but I can't receive them like a woman can. I've had some interesting things happen to me recently.
To you?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But nothing major. I know that you remember that time I told you I was so sick that I thought I was going to die.
Yeah.
Do you recall that?
Yeah, but you didn't tell me too much more after that.
All I know is that prior to that, about a few days earlier, the lights started flickering in the kitchen of my house, but nowhere else. Like a power outage, but it started flickering, but only in where I was. No other lights, because we have candles that are electric that turn on solar. In each of the windows, they didn't flicker, but only in the kitchen. And after that, I became deathly ill. And I often wonder what that was about. And then secondly, recently, I was upstairs, Dorothy was downstairs, and I heard Basil, and I said, yeah, what's up, Dorothy? And she goes, I didn't call you. You see what I mean?
Yeah, I'm listening.
Yeah, I mean that could be a minion. It could be, because they say you're not supposed to answer. But how the hell do you know you're not supposed to answer if you think it's someone you know that's calling you?
I've heard that you're not supposed to respond to it.
Yeah, but how do you know it's not?
I don't know.
That's the thing. You have to respond, because it could be really her. You see what I mean? You see my point? So a couple of times that happened. One time, I know I wasn't imagining anything. She's in the bathroom, in the master bathroom of the master bedroom, and so that's right across from me, right? As I'm in the bed, and I feel some pressure on the bottom of the bed, as though someone's pushing on the bed. Slowly but surely, and I know damn well I'm not imagining it. So, there have been things.
Oh, you in the bed by yourself?
Yes.
And you felt somebody pushing the bed or pushing
push
When
it.
you were sleeping.
Yes, where my feet were.
Really?
Yeah, I felt that a couple of times, but it's very subtle. Then one time, I'll never forget it. I was laying down, and all of a sudden I heard a bang underneath my bed. Now there ain't nothing there to cause that, and she was standing close. She was standing in the bathroom, and I heard this bang, and I looked up, and I knew damn well it was nothing else, but it had to be a spirit or ghost. You understand what I mean? So there are spirits try to get your attention in one way or another. They do it. They do it in various ways. You know.
Do you know the history of that house or that area where you live in?
You know, it's funny you should ask that because actually I don't know the intimate history of where I'm at, where the house is sitting and all that. All I know is that it was woods prior to that, and that's all I know. But also, a neighbor 2 houses away from me, I found out, and she heard a knocking on the back door, and nobody was there. And she hears it constantly. You know, so yeah, so the area could be haunted and we don't know it. It's possible, but I've never encountered any bad spirits. Nothing, you know, because you know a spirit when they're there, but you can't mistake an evil spirit. There's no way to mistake it. You know it. You know it right away.
Yes, I do know that.
Yeah, so.
But that one that latched on to me, I know that was evil.
Mm-hmm.
Because it wouldn't leave me alone, and I'm screaming to the tip of my voice, but nobody can hear me.
Yeah.
I'm asking for help. Nobody can help me.
Yeah, but you asked the wrong person. You just have to say, Jesus Christ, help me. That's it. That thing will drop you like a lead weight.
Yeah, because I will never forget that. That's such a scary feeling.
And the thing is, you don't even have to say it. You just think it.
Yeah.
And Jesus hears you. His angels hear you. You see what I mean? That's what happened to me. I couldn't open my mouth. All I had to do was think it, and that's all that it took.
Yeah. That's strange.
Why is that strange?
I mean, it's just strange how they like to latch on to certain people. And
demons latch on to anything that they feel are vulnerable or that they can do something with.
You think maybe it's because they think that maybe if they do this, they can come back?
I don't know.
Are they trying to come back through you?
They could. Maybe they're trying to. It's possible that they're looking for a host, meaning a body. It's possible.
That's what I get thinking sometimes.
It's possible.
I be thinking that's why they bother me so much. They're trying to latch on to me so they can come back.
Right. You know, they try to use your body as a host. It's possible. That's an interesting thought. I never thought of that, but that is possible. You know, so you have to look at that. Yeah, that's an interesting hypothesis. Very, very possible.
Because I talked to my father an hour before he passed away.
Mm-hmm.
And my brother told me my father's face lit up like a Christmas tree. Because it was things we were talking about. Because my father didn't have no heart attack or anything. He's 92. Mm-hmm. The doctor said he just got tired. His heart just got tired.
Yeah, it happens.
And when my mother passed, I was talking to her on the telephone before she passed away, and she was telling me she was tired. She says because her mother's gone, her brother's gone, and she says, why is everybody leaving me behind here and I'm by myself? I said, everybody didn't leave you. Your children are here. He said, well, I'm talking about the other families and everything like that.
Right.
He said, and I see them all the time. Right. I remember her telling me that, like she was sitting here talking to me and telling me that. She said, because she see them all the time. And in my mind, I was thinking, they're coming back for her. They're just looking out for her right now. Because she keeps saying that she's tired of being by herself without all of them.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
And soon after that, she closed her eyes. She didn't suffer or anything. She just closed her eyes and went to sleep.
Yeah, sometimes it's a lack of will to live that makes people slip away. That happens. It's not unusual.
No. But I know there's something unusual about me that I do know.
Well, yeah, like I said, like I said, you're either blessed or cursed. It all depends on how you look at it.
I'm not cursed, I don't think.
No, I don't think you are either. My personal opinion is just
No.
that you're able to see things and hear things and whatever, you know.
Because I do pray a lot, and I pray for the good that happens to other people and everything. So I never pray for bad things.
Good.
And you know, the one thing I said that people should never pray for about money. I really don't believe that they should do that, because if you don't pray about it like that, and if it's necessary when you need something, it'll come to you.
Right. It's true. I
Yeah.
believe it. I believe it 100%.
I do.
Marie, thank you for this ghostly interview. Being that it's September, going into October, the 2 spooky months. Thanks again.
Are you kidding me?
No,
That's why you want to talk to me about these spirits?
See, got to get them ghosts going. Because remember, this is September and October. Those are the ghostly months.
Yeah,
That's when the ghosts and that's when all the ghosts and goblins are hobbling.
Oh, please.
Anyway, I gotta go.
Okay. Well, you have a good night anyway.
Okay, you too, and I'll talk to you soon. Okay.
Okay.